Welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Week 95. Changes. 95 becomes a 5. Divine changes happening for us. I think we started the transition last week, and a lot is going on. And the vision that I saw today was really interesting. It was very past life-ish like looking. So it's almost like, time to move past all of those connections, I feel. And the thing that struck my awareness to start with was this mechanism that helps to raise the drawbridge of a castle up and down. And then I noticed a crowd of people all crowded around, all dressed in dark, very medieval sort of looking, and someone being raised up on a winch thing, a dead person obviously, or maybe more than one dead person actually, because it's hard to see, it's just this plank with, but being raised up, and then somebody with a really, medieval looking dude, pretty gloomy looking, head in hands, very mentally tormented. And my awareness brought back down to the ground with other people drawing up the flags. And the people that were drawing up the flags were dressed in lighter coloured clothes, as if they knew that there's a raising going on, and on the flags was like a moon and a star, and I couldn't see all of the symbolisms on there, but I recognised that it was to do with cosmic alignments and things, and to bringing our awareness to that. As the guys being drawn up to the top of the castle, to the turrets, it's like we have these phases, the death phase and the rebirth phase and the in-between phase. So as we die to the old, we have the opportunity to raise higher towards our higher self again. And but we can get in the way if we have too much thinking going on. Because if you can imagine that here you have all these thoughts around your head, it just becomes a block to being able to receive divine wisdom to allow us to move forward with the changes. And, because my awareness was drawn to the mechanism that raises the drawbridge, I really felt that was about the workings, that was what came to me, the workings of, there is how we work our mind probably is what raises the drawbridge up and what raises it down. Do we want to walk out? Do we want to walk in? We are in charge of coming and going, and we are in a transition phase which began last week, and that transition really is coming to a pinnacle point of choice time now. And I've done the cards, and the first card that came out was the Ace of Water, and that's really interesting because a drawbridge is usually over the water, over the, what do they call that water thing that goes around the castle? So this is the Ace of Water, which is New Beginnings, 1. And it says, falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home. So we can see it is to do with the transition, to do with the change. And in the picture here, I'm trying to get a bigger view, there we go. In the picture here, we have a mermaid and the cup, and there's a dolphin down here. So the cup is like the grail. So she's, as we go through the water, the emotions, we're able to reach down and receive that holy grail, receive the grail, receive the wisdom. The dolphin's always about communication and, being able to communicate more with the spiritual selves, with the emotional body being in touch. And there's also to do with the Syrian energy. And water is also, being related to the emotional body, is also like the transitional phase from one stage to another. So like the fourth dimensional realm, which is like the, if you like, the time-space continuum. So we can travel backwards, we can travel forwards. So often we find that we move back and forward between the emotional body and our higher selves, because we learn so much through the emotions and through the crossings through that watery phase that we get stuck in often. And the second card is card number 55. Again, they're showing us again about the changes rolling forward, a lot of change that is bringing us new beginnings. And it's called Take the Lead. And look, there's that ladder rising up again, up into the cosmos, up into towards the higher self, to the more illumined parts of the self. Take the lead. So, make the shift. Take it one step at a time. Rise up, and beyond the emotions, because again, that is in the second card in the emotional chakra of the sacral chakra area. So rising up beyond there. And the third card, which is helping us, taking us into our power, is a 6 card. This could be to do with relationships or family. Relationships really is with everybody around us in any case. And it is the 6 of Swords. So here again, it's like leave the troubled waters behind and move across to a much more still and stable place. Sure, there may be some regrets and some sadness as you're leaving things behind, emotions, memories, things, people, whatever. But there is a calmer phase to come. And the heart card today is card number 7. So we need to trust in the heart and to go with the flow. Choose our battles. So this is more or less like, don't get caught in the head. Too much thinking creates arguments and conflict. So choose your battles wisely and don't battle at all is a better decision. So stay out of the head. Be more in the heart, in the feeling place, but allow that to go through. Sure, there's going to be some obstacles, especially probably this is the 5th card, so maybe to do with the throat chakra. You may find struggles expressing your truth. This is big things. There's big changes coming. It's not insurmountable. Everything is surmountable. Keep your energy field clear. Shield your energy field. And the Ascended Master El Moria. Now that is thy will, not my will. And so it's like reminding ourselves to allow the divine to show us the way. A little bit like the reminder of the flags being risen up. There is a divine timing for everything. Be fully present. Be in the moment. Don't be in the head. Thy will, not my will. And just ask your higher self to show you the way. That's card number 6. So again, the brow chakra. So allowing visions to come forward that are right for you in your future. And the 7th card today is card number 22. So coming full circle, support of the Alpha and the Omega. It is the Nile, sacred archetypal element of water again. So this is again to do with the emotions and the transitions that are happening for us to a higher dimension, to a higher state of being. And I want to read a bit more about this card for you because I really like it. And it comes from the Anubis Oracle deck. And the Nile, sacred archetypal element of water. Water blesses us. It blesses all of life. Everything in nature thirsts for water, trees, animals, mountains, and human beings. In our human bodies, water is synonymous with blood. The Nile is the bountiful river that is the reflection of the river of the night, the Milky Way. It is our star mother's counterpart on Earth. Nowhere on Earth is there such contrast between fertility and barrenness, between life and death, and between abundance and desolation, as in the Nile Valley, especially where the Nile's influence halts at the desert's edge. In Egypt, all life is dependent on the Nile, and the Nile, in her generous and gracious flow, feeds all life. As the Nile flows through Egypt, water flows through our lives, often fluidity, compassion, intuition, nurturance, intimacy, and sensitivity. It teaches us about ebb and flow. It shows us its many forms, liquid and solid, vapor and mist. Water teaches us about eternity by showing us how to have faith as we move through the different states of being and consciousness, as well as those of form. We learn how to feel through water. We learn about emotion, sensitivity, and unconsciousness. Water cleanses the lenses of our psychic awareness and nourishes our intuition. So a really beautiful card, that one. leading us through. And I thought quite significant being the number 22, which, you know, those that are aware of my work know how significant 22 is. And so it's sort of like saying that we've really come, 22 is an initiation number, it's a master number, the builder, you know, and I'm just receiving, it's like, I wanted to say the builder of the bridge. So it's a bridge builder. Wanting to, very much a bridge builder, because we have the Nile and the Milky Way, you know, the counterparts, heaven and earth. And so it's like bridging the worlds there between the emotions and all of that information that we are able to receive from the great cosmic awareness that is held within the Milky Way. So a really beautiful card. There's a trust in that, trust and being in alignment with that. Let your earthly self be like the Nile. Imagine that your central column is the Nile itself, and that you are in total alignment with the Milky Way, and receiving all of that wisdom to help us move through our changes. And that's what's happening this week. We have a whole week of it, 7 days. That's the 7-day card. So I'll be quite excited to see what comes through next week. So that's it for me on that bit. And we'll go in to do the codes. And anybody who wishes to receive the light codes outside of this class, just $15 Australian and can be paid to me through PayPal.